Okay. Hello, Chairman Shaffer, Vice Chairman Chair Landis, and members of the Senate Agriculture and Natural Resource Committee. My name is Elliott Shaffer. As a lifelong resident of Fostoria, Ohio, and I am honored to give testimony here today and to urge you to move forward with Senate Bill 119. Throughout the 33 years I have lived in Fostoria, out-of-state trash has had a presence in Seneca County and on the outskirts of our town. Located in Loudon Township, Sunny Farm Landfill received an estimated 7,500 tons of out-of-state trash, or waste, a day by rail. In my career, working with Fortune 50 and 500 companies, I have had the privilege of having a number of mentors who educated me on process improvement, and the one hard, fast rule that we followed was that you don't blame the person. You improve the training and the process to achieve the desired result. Right now, we have let an archaic process that was created over 30 years ago stand for too long. With out-of-state trash rail fees at their current rate, we are incentivizing the transportation of hazardous construction debris to our community. The time has come to put an end to the disparities that are harming our communities and make improvements that will support those same communities and help them flourish for years to come. In a Fostoria City Council meeting earlier this month, OSS Director Gary Beatty, or the Waste Management District, stated that 83% of the OSS revenue comes from Seneca County and Sunny Farms landfill. From their website, OSS states that its mission is to ensure quality waste stream management for its residents and to foster long-term positive solid waste habits, including recycling, reducing, reusing, and buying of recycled products. Fostoria has no recycling program. It was removed, as was Fostoria's access to Loudon Township Recycling Center. A new process has yet to be established, while other communities a part of the OSS are benefiting from the recycling programs and sort recycling materials. While OSS does educate our community on recycling, without programs to support recycling culture, our children will not see a clean future. The education is useless without action. For more perspective, I want to share some geographic information. Sunny Farms landfill sits at roughly 900 feet in elevation, right next to the east branch of the Portage. The Fostoria watershed is right next to it as well. The east branch runs to Fostoria at roughly 720 feet in elevation, and then to Lake Erie. The landfill and surrounding areas are rich in porous limestone, and the water table sits at a range of 5 to 30 feet. This introduces the potential for hazardous waste to find its way downhill and into our watershed, and by extension, the very water we drink. The landfill started operation in 1970, but it was not until 2022 that it was documented as a potential risk to surface water by the Ohio EPA Surface Water Division. In a meeting in Fostoria earlier this month, the Ohio EPA Surface Water Division stated that they had never tested surface water from Sunny Farms landfill. The landfill is trusted with self-monitoring and testing. As a father of a 5-year-old who at 6 months old was given a rare 1 in a million cancer diagnosis called hepatoblastoma, I know firsthand the importance of recognizing the environment's effects on your health. The absence of oversight and mismanagement of fees has been felt throughout our community, and I ask with the most sincerity to please help us and all Ohioans by supporting Senate Bill 119. Thank you.
And thank you very much, and God bless you on your plight with your son's illness, and hopefully he gets well. You doing well?
He's doing very well.
Good,
yes.
Good. Thank you.
Only high-frequency hearing loss, and he's beat it all completely. So.
Really?
Yes. Chemotherapy. Yeah.
Chemotherapy. Yeah. Questions? Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Shaffer. I just want to kind of drill down on your background here a little bit.
Yeah.
In my career working with Fortune 50 and 500 companies, I've had the privilege of having a number of mentors who educated me on process and improvements. May I ask what your background is?
Supplier quality technician. I've worked for Marathon, and I've done operations for pipeline from the Gulf of Mexico all the way up to Detroit refinery.
Okay, very good. And follow-up?
Please.
And, you cited the elevation and, I'm trying to find the exact quote there. Sunny Farms landfill sits at roughly 900 feet in elevation, right next to the east branch of the Portage River. This information that you supplied there, was that available from some type of document?
You can go to the state organizations that map elevations, and you can see them based on their systems that they have here located in Ohio. And then also USGS has documents as well.
One more follow-up. Thank you, sir, and I appreciate that. So basically, the statement that you've made here was taken from your own research?
Correct.
And it's in your own words. It wasn't something that was, taken from a...
Yeah, this is all available to the public.
That helps me very, very well that you've done the research and things like that. So
Thank
you very much, and thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Other questions? I've got one follow-up to Vice Chairman Landis. The following paragraph, you say the landfill started operations in 1970, but not until 2022. That was documented as a potential risk to surface water by the EPA.
Correct.
What documentation is that? When we say risk, it could mean one thing to you, it could mean something else to me.
So,
Has there been a demonstrated problem, or is it just there and it's a risk?
so this was a statement that was given to the EPA during one of the last meetings, and it was brought to our attention that the EPA Surface Water Division had gone out and made observations, but in their documentation, they failed to notify us or notify anybody that one of the potential risks, just saying potential risk, was the landfill. So that being said, it not being a potential risk, they weren't actually observing it and making tests and doing those sort of things. So.
And, I don't want to reduce the meaning of that statement, but did you interpret it to be imminent risk? Is there an imminent problem? Kind of like with a dam holding water back that, engineers will look at it and say, oh, this thing is solid, it's going to hold another 10, 20 years perhaps, or is there an imminent risk of leakage?
Just from my own perspective, at 900 feet in elevation, there's going to be a lot of water that comes off of that hillside, and those go into those containment ponds, which then, once that debris settles to the bottom of the containment ponds, it's then released into whatever body of water, whether it's the Portage or the Wolf Creek. My concern is when we have those downpours, those deluges. You've seen at Lake Erie when runoff happens and you see a lot of sediment go into Lake Erie. My concern is there's going to be a rush of water, and those hard metals, those plastics, all those things could be potentially a risk in going into those bodies of water.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, committee? Thank you.
Cool. And then the video.
Oh, do you have a video? Yes, please. Almost forgot.
There's sound, yeah.
The health and safety of Ohioans is at great risk due to the amount of out-of-state waste and lack of hands-on testing and monitoring done by the Ohio EPA. 99% of the waste at Sunny Farms landfill comes from the East Coast due to lack of regulations, lack of local monitoring, and outdated waste fees. With 7,500 tons of trash a day coming in on unlined and uncovered rail cars through Fostoria, train derailments occur very often, and we cannot have another East Palestine in our state. Ohio is a home rule state. Local control shall be provided to the county regarding solid waste and landfill monitoring. According to the Ohio EPA, water drain-off samples are not being tested by the state agency. Private landfills conduct their own monitoring. Unfortunately, the Ohio EPA has not performed any environmental studies or local health surveys. Senate Bill 119 will ensure proper fees for out-of-state trash, local control and monitoring of Ohio's landfills, and local control regarding solid waste district boards. Please follow Senate Bill 119, introduced by Senator Bill Ranke. Thank you, Ohio lawmakers, for fighting for the health and safety of all Ohioans.
Very good. Any questions from, yeah, Senator Wickham.
Thank you, Chairman. Just curious, the picture of the shoreline with all the trash blown in, is that up in your area?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Chairman Landis.
Thank you, Chairman. And thank you again for sharing the video, Mr. Shaffer. In your knowledge, and just your knowledge, and maybe this could go to the county commissioners also, but are there any violations on file with the county or with the state, violations from this particular landfill in the last 10 years?
In the last 10 years?
Well, okay, is there any recent?
I have been told that there's been violations from different people. Myself, I can't be credible with that and give you any type of documentation. But from the landfill themselves, they've stated that they have had no violations. But we've seen different things happen over the years, and we'd like to see a lot of reduction in what we've been encountering, whether it's been the smell or any debris that's been blowing off of it. And they are taking measures, but I think we need to try to do better.
Follow-up? And thank you for that answer. I just want to drill down just a little bit more, though.
Yeah.
Violations versus citations. If that's something that the chair's office could get, maybe a record of citations, which means that there was a violation, that there was a finding, and that there was a fine, and maybe a corrective action requested. Something like that might be very advantageous for us to have also. Would that be, please?
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And we'll follow that up. Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.